You may not need to hear this today, and I'm a little surprised I need to say it, but I'm seeing enough out there where I feel like I really need to say this today. Text is not enough. Hi everyone, thanks for watching my video today on why text is not enough in content marketing. And this really is kind of a fundamental concept when it comes to today's world, which is driven a lot more by the consumer and target audience than it is the marketers. And really over time, because of this, marketing departments have had to evolve into publishing departments where they are doing more than writing text, and here's why. I think about what Mark Schaefer once called content shock. There is so much out there when you're online, whether it's in your email box or social media or just being online. There are people constantly trying to get your attention. Read this blog, click on this, check this out, nonstop, and it's all written in text. And if you're relying on that to get people's attention, you're competing with a lot more noise. And when you think about all the people that are online at a time, those people are going to consume content differently. And that means what draws them in can be different. And if they're used to people constantly trying to get their attention, what are you doing differently that might get them to stop and consider clicking on something or looking at something for more than 1 to 2 seconds, unlike some of the other content they've seen during the day? And finally, what does this really kind of boil down to? Time. How much time does somebody have to read whatever you're putting in front of them? So when I talk about this, I don't mean that it's all based on content I'm seeing companies put out today. I mean, a lot of it has to do with that. But even when I was job searching a couple of years ago, obviously I was looking for jobs in the advertising, marketing, communication space. And I would see these job postings that would describe the job responsibilities, obviously. And so many of them were, you're going to write this, you're going to write this, you're going to write this, and then you're going to write this. I mean, there was like no mention of video, no mention of audio, no mention of podcasts, infographics, or repurposed content. It was all writing. And I'm like, how are these companies thinking that they're going to reach everybody they could possibly reach by writing all this content and not offering anything else? Because think about this too. Even if we're talking about someone who's willing to read the content, what does reading mean? Are they going to read it word for word from beginning to end, or are they going to skim it? And are they going to skim it for the most important thing they're looking for? And if they don't find it in the first 2 or 3 paragraphs, are they going to keep looking, or are they going to bail? There's a lot to consider when you're just rolling out content that is text, and that's why you need to find other ways to reach them. For example, Chris Brogan, when he decided to expand his content into video. And this is a guy who was writing some really good blog content, including a blog about why he was expanding into video. And in it, he said, people are reading on average a total of 19 minutes a day across everything. That includes texts and emails. 19 minutes. You might read more than that, but people are not. And you and I are in the business of reaching those people. Another thing I think about when we discuss overwhelming people with text content and stuff that they have to read and read and read just to understand something is Donald Miller and StoryBrand's analogy of, let's just say they're on your website, just piling more and more stuff to read onto somebody is like putting bowling balls into the hands of your audience. And, I'm not saying that there's no place for text. Of course there is. I mean, I'm a big fan of blogging and all the things we're talking about here. I think there's ways you have to, approach it. I think there's still strategy there as to what you should be writing and what you should be doing with your blog. But if you have valuable insights, let's say you're looking for content on social media, and you just want an opportunity to demonstrate what you know about something, get people thinking about you, not necessarily constantly looking to click on something or buy something, but just prove that you know some things. Take a good insight out of that blog and make it a text-only post on LinkedIn, for example, or make it a really cool graphic for Twitter. But here are some other ideas that you can do with your text to repurpose that content and reach more people. Take some of that content and turn it into an explainer video. As I mentioned, you can take highlights and share them on social media. Take a topic and have one of your experts do a 1 to 3 minute video sharing a key insight. And by the way, when you do that, don't read. Don't be doing the insight like this and letting people know exactly what you're talking about and why they should care because you're reading it. because they're going to be focused on the fact that you're reading and maybe not listening to you. Just think of the key points, maybe have the key points in front of you, and then talk to people as if you're sharing an insight that's important to them. Okay, moving on. You can create a podcast where you discuss topics in your blog and other content offerings. Oh, and in that blog, you could also provide an audio version of the entire blog so somebody could listen to it. They might take time to listen to a 3 or 4 minute blog if they're not interested in reading it. All right, I want to leave you with 2 more things here. One is something I'm always telling my fellow marketers, and that is, you're a marketer, we know that, but don't forget you're also a target audience. You're also a consumer. You're also somebody that somebody out there is trying to reach and get their attention, get them to click on something, buy something, read something, and you know why you chose to listen to this and not this, why you chose to read this and not this, why you spent 2 seconds on this blog, 5 minutes on this blog. Remember those things when you're developing content. Sometimes we get so caught up in our marketing mindset that we're trying to, write something genius and we forget, wait a minute, would I engage with this piece of content? That's always something good to remember. The other reason why it's important to write content and then also provide other options is, even if that piece of written content gets in front of somebody that is willing to read things, it's possible at that moment they may not have time to do it. You caught them at a bad time. So what is in front of them right now that's either going to make them see something and grasp it, or see something and remember you? If they got to get to if they got to click and get to paragraph 4 to reach that point, you've lost them. Well, that's going to wrap up today's video. Please subscribe to the channel if you really liked what you saw today. Feel free to leave comments as a marketer, consumer, or both. And thank you so much for watching the video today.